ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देगं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सखगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सखगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंद सर्व कारण कारणम। हरे कृष्ण। By the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita every day. We finished 22 slokas in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So that is Vishwarupa, Krishna's universal form, Vishwarupa. We are understanding very nicely about Krishna's universal form in this chapter. And here only, in this Bhagavad Gita only, Krishna is showing his universal form to Arjuna, and Arjuna is explaining, and we are able to understand. So this Bhagavad Gita means the song of God. So in this knowledge, which is the king of knowledge, which is revealing everything what we need to know. So just by understanding this entire Bhagavad Gita, all our questions are completely answered. That's what we are doing it. We are studying every day Bhagavad Gita, we are understanding. So we are progressing. The important thing what we need to do is that whatever the slokas we already finished, we need to keep studying. That's what is very important for us. By Krishna's mercy, we are spending good amount of time every day. We are spending 2 hours, close to 2 hours every day studying Bhagavad Gita. So that way we are spending this time very wisely, very effectively, because we are fully connected with Krishna. And all these slokas, we need to keep revising, studying and understanding, so that way we will not forget all these slokas. And of course, we are not going to forget. The way we are studying Bhagavad Gita every day, that we are revising all the slokas. I am quoting slokas from different chapters, from the slokas which we have already covered also, already studied also. So that way there is no way we can forget these slokas. And of course, when we want to study, when we are very interested, Krishna is also going to give us remembrance. So that remembrance comes from Krishna. Krishna gives us the knowledge, everything Krishna is giving us. That's why we are studying and understanding this Bhagavad Gita. So one thing we understand very much in this Bhagavad Gita is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no doubt about it. Matkarma krit matparamu madartam. Krishna is saying that Sangavarjitaka. Matartam Sangavarjitaka. That's very important thing, that we need to give up all kinds of attachment for Krishna's sake. That's what Madartam Sangavarjitaka. So we may ask a question here, why should I give up all the attachment? Why should I renounce? Renounce means renounce the attachment, not renouncing what we have, not renouncing the sense objects. We can use everything in Krishna's service, but why should I renounce all the attachments? We should renounce all the attachments because for Krishna's sake. That's what Madartam Sangha Varjitaka. That's what Krishna is saying, that Madartam means for my sake. For my sake. Madartam Sangha Varjitaka. So Matkarma Krit. So Matkarma Krit means you perform all your activities for my sake. For me. That's what Matkarma Krit Madartam Sangha Varjitaka. So if you do that, if you do everything for Krishna, everything if you do only for the satisfaction of Krishna, Matkarma Krit Madartam Sangha Varjitakam, then we don't have to consider anyone as competitor or envy, we enemies, no one. We don't have to, we can be equal to everyone. Like the way Krishna is equal to everyone, we can also be like that. So that way, Nirvairaga Sarva Bhutesu. That means we will not have any enemies. That means we don't consider anyone as our enemies. That's what is very important. Nirvairaga Sarva Bhutesu. So that way, because we see only souls everywhere, only souls, Atma everywhere, in all the bodies, in everyone's body, we will see only Atma, only the soul. So that way, Krishna is saying that we are not the body, we are the soul. So that way, we don't have to consider anyone as our enemies. So that's why Nirvairaga Sarva Bhutesu. Yasamameti Pandava. So he will come to me. That's what Krishna is saying. Oh Pandava, he will come to me. So simply by performing all the activities for Krishna, Matkarma Krit, that's it. Simply by performing all the activities for Krishna, Matkarma Krit Matparamo, Madartam Sangha Varjitaga, simply by giving up all kinds of attachments for Krishna's sake. So then we will not consider anyone as our enemies in this way, and we won't be envious about anyone. So we will be only focusing our mind on Krishna. So that way, nothing in this world is actually going to disturb our mind. That's what is very important. So if this happens, if we are situated in Krishna consciousness, if we are doing all the activities only for Krishna, if we are able to give up all the attachments for Krishna, so that means there is no need for us to worry about anything. There is no need for us to get disturbed about anything. That's what is very important. So that way our mind will be very, very peaceful. Because we can peacefully think about Krishna. We can peacefully focus our mind on Krishna, remembering Krishna, serving Krishna, doing everything for Krishna. All such things are very much possible just with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So just by doing everything as an offering unto Krishna, then everything is possible. So we just have to get this knowledge. That's what is very important. We just have to understand everything about Krishna, everything about ourselves, our relationship with Krishna. So if we are able to establish our relationship with Krishna, then if we are able to act according to that relationship. So first establish our relationship with Krishna, understand our relationship with Krishna. Then act as per that relationship. Then we will be able to please Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means then in our life, all that time we will be able to spend only for Krishna. We are spending so much of our time in doing all kinds of nonsense things in this world. Just wasting our time. But with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, if we decide to spend all the time in Krishna's service, that means just applying the knowledge, using this knowledge in our life. Doing everything for the satisfaction of Krishna, not getting disturbed, not getting worried about anything, not getting attached to anything. That's what is very important. So we should not be attached to anything in this way. We should be attached only to Krishna. So that kind of mindset, that kind of consciousness comes only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita only. By repeatedly studying Bhagavad Gita, by keep on studying Bhagavad Gita, understanding all the verses, what Krishna is asking us to do, so then we will be able to do everything as an offering unto Krishna. That's what is very important. So in the fourth chapter, Krishna is actually teaching us about the importance of this knowledge. This knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is very, very important. So if we just apply this knowledge in our life, Krishna is saying that we will be able to get this knowledge, and yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchinna samsayam atmavantam nakarmani nibandhanandi dhananjaya. That's what Krishna is saying. Yoga sanyasta karman. So sanyasta means doing all the activities, that is renouncing all the results. That means not renouncing all the attachments to the results. That's what yoga sanyasta karmanam means. Krishna is saying that Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa. So you perform all your activities for my sake. That's what Krishna is saying, that as an offering unto me. That's what is yoga sanyasta karman. Jnana sanchinna samsayam. So one who is able to destroy the ignorance, the doubts, basically the doubts. One who is able to destroy the doubts with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. That's what jnana sanchinna samsayam. Atmavantam. So one who is situated in the self. Atmavantam. So yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchinna samsayam atmavantam nakarmani nibandhanandi dhananjaya. No karma will bind him. That's what Krishna is there. That means karmani na nibandhanandi. Nakarmani nibandhanandi dhananjaya means karmani na nibandhanandi. The activities are not going to bind us. When we are able to renounce the attachments to the results of our activities. So that's what sanyasta. Sanyasta. So one who is situated in sannyasa. Sannyasa means not giving up the work. We already studied very, very clearly in the 6th chapter, 1st sloka. Krishna has explained, has given the definition for sannyasa. Naniragnigi, nachakriyaga. So he is not a sannyasi. Anasridhaga karma palam karyam karma samacharan sasanyasi cha yogi cha naniragnigi nachakriyaga. Anasridhaga karma palam. One who is not attached to the fruits of the activities, results of the activities. This is what anasridhaga karma palam. Karyam karma samacharan. One who is able to perform his activities. So one who is able to perform his duties without any attachment to the results. So that's what anasridhaga karma palam karyam karma samacharan. Sasanyasi. So he is a sannyasi. Sa yogi. Sa sannyasi cha yogi cha. So he is a sannyasi and he is a yogi. Naniragnigi nachakri. Not the person who doesn't ignite the fire, who is not performing any activity. He is not a sannyasi. So we need to understand very well that sannyasi means a person who does all the activities without any attachment to the results. So that is what is called yoga sannyasta. Yoga sannyasta karmanam. Yoga sannyasta karmanam means performing all the activities without any attachment to the results. Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sanchinna samsayam. So by destroying the doubts with the weapon of knowledge. So jnana sanchinna samsayam, then one who is situated in the self, atmavantam nakarmani nibandhanandi dhananjayam. So that's why Krishna is saying that tasmat ajnana sambhutam kritastam jnanasinatmanaga. Hritastam means in the heart, situated in the heart. Ajnana sambhutam. Ajnana sambhutam means one which appeared due to ignorance, out of ignorance. So in the heart, so what is that? Samsayam. So the doubts. So therefore the doubts which are born in the heart due to ignorance. So that's why tasmat ajnana sambhutam kritastam jnanasinatmanaga. Jnanasinatmanaga means by the weapon of knowledge. Chitvainam samsayam yogamadishto tishta parad bharata. So you destroy the doubts which are born due to ignorance. Ajnana sambhutam. Ajnana sambhutam samsayam means the doubts which are born due to ignorance. So our doubts are due to what? Ignorance. Ajnana sambhutam. So samsayam. So jnanasin atmanaga chitvaitam. So with the weapon of knowledge you destroy, cut them into pieces. So that way, this ignorance, we need to cut them into pieces. We need to destroy them with the weapon of knowledge, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So Chitvainam Yogamatisto Tista Bharat. So you be situated in the yoga. So yoga means being equal in both success and failure. That's what Yogamatisto Tista Bharata. One should be situated in this yoga. That's what Krishna is saying, that we need to perform all our activities only as an offering unto Krishna. So, with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, all our doubts will be destroyed. We will not have any doubts. We will know very clearly that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. First of all, in that very important fact, we should not have any doubt. So, that knowledge, that conviction comes only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So, when our faith becomes very, very strong based on the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, based on the scientific facts of this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, then no one can shake our faith. Then we will be very determined. Dhritavrataga. So we will be able to worship Krishna with great determination. Bhajante mam dhritavrataga. Dhritavrataga means with great determination. So we will be able to worship Krishna. Bhajante mam. So we will be able to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. That's what we are getting. From this Bhagavad Gita, we are getting this knowledge, we are getting that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should worship Krishna. So then all our doubts will be destroyed by this weapon of knowledge. When we worship Krishna, when we become a devotee of Krishna, when we have faith on Krishna, so then our life is going to be very meaningful. We will be able to get the peace of mind. This is the only way to achieve peace of mind. That is only by connecting ourselves with Krishna. If we are not able to connect ourselves with Krishna, we will not have intelligence, we will not have steady mind, then there is no peace of mind, then there is no happiness. This sloka we studied many, many times in the past. In the second chapter, Krishna says towards the end, Nasti buddhya yuktasya nacha yuktasya bhavana, nacha abhavayataga santi, asantasya kutas sukam. So that santi, that's what we need. That's what prasanti, prasantam, prasanta manasam hyenam, prasantam, santam, santi, peace. So prasanta manasam hyenam, jitatmanaga prasantasya, jitatmanaga prasantasya. So when we are able to conquer our mind, when we are able to control our mind, we are going to get the peace of mind. That's what prasantam, prasantam, jitatmanaga prasantasya, paramatma samahita. So this Bhagavad Gita knowledge only is going to give us that santi, that peace of mind, that param santim, jnanam labdva param santim. So when we gain this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, when we get this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we are going to get the supreme peace of mind. So that way, this Bhagavad Gita is the medicine, this Bhagavad Gita is the solution for all our problems. So if you want peace of mind, we need to study Bhagavad Gita. If you want happiness, we need to study Bhagavad Gita. Because Bhagavad Gita only brings peace of mind. We cannot go and get peace of mind anywhere. We cannot go and buy peace of mind. We cannot go and ask for peace of mind from anyone. This peace of mind has to come from within ourselves. That means our mind should not be disturbed by anything in this material world. That is possible only when our mind is filled with Krishna. When we are able to fully remember Krishna all the time, when we are able to lead a complete Krishna conscious life, so then our mind is full of Krishna, so that is known as Krishna consciousness. So at that point of time, our mind will be completely peaceful. So when our mind is peaceful, we can lead a blissful life. That's it. So peaceful means blissful. We will be able to lead a blissful life, happy life. So asantasya kutas sukham. When there is no peace of mind, where from happiness comes? So this peace of mind comes only with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So anyone who takes shelter into this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, who has faith on this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, will definitely get this knowledge completely and will be able to achieve the peace of mind. Will not be disturbed by anything in this material way. Nothing will bother him, nothing will disturb him, because there are no worries, because there are no attachments on anything in this material way, because we will be only attached only to Krishna. That's it. So when we are attached only to Krishna, when we remember only Krishna, when we serve Krishna, so then peace of mind comes. Then our mind will be very, very peaceful. It won't be disturbed at all. So that way, this Bhagavad Gita science is very important for us, which we are getting it. We are studying every day. We are understanding, we are making great progress in this effort. And the more and more we study, the more and more we understand in this Bhagavad Gita, then the more and more peace we will get. The peace of mind we are going to get. So that means we will be very happy. So that is the formula for happiness. So peace of mind is the source of happiness. So happiness comes when our mind is peaceful, and that peace of mind comes when we get this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So that's why we are studying this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, which is bringing us so much happiness. That's why we are able to come and join this class every day. We are able to study Bhagavad Gita and follow it, understand it. So this Bhagavad Gita has got 18 chapters, 700 slokas, 700 verses. So if we just read and understand all these slokas, all these verses, so if you are able to understand fully, if you are able to completely understand, and if you are able to follow everything what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if you are able to completely follow, so then we are going to achieve complete peace of mind, and we are going to enjoy unlimited happiness. So then we will not be forced by the three modes of material nature. We will be able to free ourselves from this material modes of nature, material world. Then we will not be forced to accept another material body, temporary, miserable life. We are not going to get in this way. So all these things are going to happen just by doing one thing, that is just by believing in this Bhagavad Gita, just by having faith on this Bhagavad Gita. That one faith alone can actually take us out of this material world, can liberate us from this material world, material bondage. So just having faith on Bhagavad Gita, having faith on Krishna. That we are having, that's why we are studying Bhagavad Gita every day. And now we are in the 11th chapter, we finished 22 slokas. We understand about Krishna's Viswarupa, we are studying and understanding. So Krishna's Viswarupa, the universal form, is unlimited everywhere. So Arjuna could see Anantabahu Taravaktra Netram. So everywhere he could see unlimited hands, unlimited arms, unlimited bellies, unlimited mouths and unlimited eyes. Everywhere he could see, everywhere, everything unlimited. So Dyava Prithivyor Idamantaramhi. So it is between the sky and the earth, everywhere, it is filling everywhere, it's extended everywhere, and everywhere he could see all kinds of, in this universal form, Arjuna could see like it's so much, as if thousands of suns have arisen at the same time everywhere, and it was even very difficult for him to see Durnariksham Samantat. So that way, that radiance coming from that Viswarupa was actually Krishna's universal form, was actually is heating up this entire universe. So that's what we were studying. So in the sloka number 22, what we studied, Arjuna said that Rudraditya Vasavo Yecha Sadhya Visvesvinau Marutaschoshmapascha Gandharvayaksha Surasiddha Sangha Vikshante Tvam Vismitaschaiva Sarve. So he was able to see everyone in that Viswarupa, like all Rudras, Adityas, Sadhyas, Visvas, and Visvadevas, Aswini Kumaras, Marutas, Maruts, everyone, and forefathers, Gandharvas, Yaksas, Asuras, Siddhas, everyone, they were all like, basically, they're all beholding you in wonder. So that's what Vikshante Tvam Vismitas Chaiva Sarve. So now in this sloka, what we are studying today, in the sloka number 23, Arjuna is continuing that Rupam Mahate Bahuvatra Netram Mahabaho Bahubahurpadam Bahudaram Bahudam Strakaralam Drishtva Lokaga Pravyatitastataham. Rupam Mahate, your Rupam, your great Rupam, this Viswarupam, with Bahu Vaktra Netram. Vaktra means mouth and Netra is eyes. Arjuna already said that. Ananta, Arjuna already said Vaktra Netram, already in the previous sloka we studied that. So in the previously, Ananta Bahu Dara Vaktra Netram, that's what we studied. So Aneka Bahu Dara Vaktra Netram. So in the 16th sloka we studied it, Vaktra Netram. So Vaktra Netram means its mouths and eyes. So that's what Vaktra Netram. So here Prabhupada is translating Vaktra as faces and eyes. So Rupam Mahate Bahu Vaktra Netram. So I see many faces and eyes and Mahabaho Bahu Bahuru Padam. Bahu Bahu. That Bahu also we studied that. Ananta Bahu. So Ananta Bahu in one sloka we studied that. Ananta Bahu means unlimited arms. That's what Ananta Bahu. That also Arjuna could see here. That is Bahu Mahabahu Bahu Bahuru Padam. Uru means it is thighs. Uru Padam. Bahuru Padam. Padam means legs. So Mahabahu Bahu Bahuru Padam. So in your great form, I could see many mouths and eyes, that is faces, eyes, and many arms, Mahabahu, mighty arm. Many times Arjuna, Krishna only addresses Arjuna as Mahabahu. Krishna calls Arjuna as Mahabahu. Now Arjuna is calling Krishna as Mahabahu. Mahabahu means mighty arm. Bahubahuru Padam. Many arms, thighs and legs. And Bahudaram. Udaram means it is bellies. Many bellies. Bahudaram. Bahu Damstra Karalam. And many teeth. They are terrible teeth. Horrible teeth. That's what Karalam. Karalam means horrible teeth. So many horrible teeth. So that's what he was saying there. So I'm able to see all those things here. So Bahu, yeah. Anadi Madhyantam Ananta Viryam Ananta Bahum Sasi Surya Netram Ananta Bahu. In another sloka also he said this Bahu. So like that here Udara Bahudaram and Bahu Damstra Karalam and Drishtva Loka Aha Pravyatitas Tataham. So after seeing this, all the worlds are perturbed by seeing this. I am also. Like that, I am also perturbed. So Tataham. Tataham means I am also. I am also by seeing this Damstra Karalam. Means it's horrible teeth. So that's what Krishna's Viswarupa. So it is not very pleasing to see. That's what we need to know. So Krishna is showing his Viswarupa. But Krishna's Syamasundara form is so beautiful, so wonderful that even millions of Gandharvas, they are fainting by seeing Krishna's beautiful Syamasundara form. Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalayataksham Barhavatam Samasitambuta Sundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Visesha Shobam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Krishna, who is adept in playing with his flute and his head decked with peacock's feather and his body tinged with the hue of blue clouds and his unique loveliness charming the millions of cupids. So that's what Kantarpa Koti Kamaniya Visesa Sobam. Whereas here, Krishna's Viswarupam is very difficult to see and all the worlds, they are getting perturbed, like including Arjuna also. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, we have studied sloka number 23. So in the 23, Arjuna is saying that, O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs and bellies and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. So that's what here we are understanding in Krishna's Viswarupa in the sloka number 23. We finish now. Hare Krishna, and we will discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.